What can I do to fix a long resume? There's the thorny question of what makes an ideal resume length. There are already many opinions out there as to what is an ideal length, typically 2 pages, and I'm sure you can find these articles and posts online. However, as I'm older and have varied experience and done other things outside of the narrow confines of work, including several volunteer projects and organizing and facilitating meetups, and that's not speaking to experience, just sharing about mine. I have always struggled with keeping my resume down to 2 pages. To be completely honest, I have never succeeded in keeping my resume down to 2 pages. But here's the thing, it's not been a problem for me. Despite my resume length, I have managed to increase my professional visibility. I have managed to build my brand and been recognized in the areas that I want to be seen in. I've secured roles, projects of all kinds, even in completely different environments, industries, and cities. So, resume length has never been a challenge for me, but I can appreciate that it may be for some. So, I'd like to highlight that this is a situation where you have to come to your own thinking on these issues. Lots of experts will be weighing in, but ultimately, you have to decide how best to put yourself forward, what you need to make that happen, what fits your unique situation and circumstances, and then do what you believe works best for you. Now, my recommendation is when you're developing or revising your resume, go for the easy fixes first to see how you can make changes to adjust the length. For example, adjusting line spacing, which is the space between each line in a paragraph. You can customize this to be single spaced, which is one line high, or double spaced, or any other amount you choose. You can also adjust the font size. But bear in mind that certain fonts are easier to read than others. So I'll mention two well-known font types, which are serif and sans serif. There's more. Serif fonts have an extra stroke that appears on the letter forms, and it adds a traditional feel. It's said to be more readable, so we tend to see more of these in books and newspapers. An example is Times New Roman. Sans serif fonts, on the other hand, are more modern. They offer a cleaner, more minimalist appearance. Arial is an example. So, line spacing, font choice, and font size. Next, pay attention to margins on all sides, as well as any margins that you may apply if you have headers and footers in your resume. Now, these too can be adjusted, provided you keep in mind the value of white space for better readability. Now, if you succeed in getting everything within a 2-pager, but the words are really small and it's cramped, it's going to make for an unpleasant experience, and that's not what you want. So from time to time, as you power through working on all of these changes and putting out job applications, remember to also step into the mind of your reader. What will they think when they see this document? What do these references that you are using mean? Why is something phrased in this particular way? What is the candidate trying to say? It can feel challenging to keep switching roles like this, but trust me, there is benefit in being able to step outside yourself to review this from another person's perspective. And of course, if you've got people around you who you can share your resume with and get feedback, that's well worth doing too. Next, let's look at formatting, or actually reduced formatting. So you really want to keep the formatting simple. And by this, I mean you don't want to pretty it up with too many tables or any tables and diagrams. Your resume needs to be ATS friendly, which means optimized for an applicant tracking system. Now, this is typically used by many organizations to scan your document and accurately extract and store information about you, the candidate. So for example, if you decide to convert all the text in your resume into an image file or a couple of image files and then attach these files to the document, it's highly likely that the ATS will not find anything on the page because it needs to read text, not images. So something to keep in mind. Now, there are many more fixes, but I work to keep these videos around the 5-minute mark or less. So the final 2 fixes that I want to share here are super important because these deal with the meat of your resume. Now, if you have tons of experience and accomplishments that you can point to, it's natural to struggle with keeping things brief. So 2 things that you can do to fix this content challenge. 1, maintain a portfolio website. Now, you don't necessarily need to build your own website. There are several free options out there where you can just get an account and set up a simple one-pager site. And this is where you can extend and build on what you've spoken of in your resume. 2, create slide decks for individual stories or to take a case study approach to sharing a particular experience or project. Now, these can be attached to the individual work experiences, and they're amazing additions to your LinkedIn profile because here you can add design and color and images and storytelling to bring your ideas to life. You can direct people from your resume to your LinkedIn profile for these additional attachments, these slide decks. Now, if you would like to see what this can look like, I'd like to give a big shout out to my client, Gina Daggett, who took this approach with her LinkedIn profile. I will share a link to her profile in the comment section, and you should take a look at her 2 most recent work experiences because there are 2 attachments there which allow her to expand on the ideas that she shares in those work experiences. And these truly help her to expand and articulate in more detail and showcase what she can do in a better way. So these are things that you can apply in the resume as well as in your LinkedIn profile. So 7 fixes here, and hopefully some of these may assist you. Rowena Morais with episode 12, quick fixes for a long resume. I'd love to hear what other tips you may have. And if you have questions, leave a comment or join in the conversation on LinkedIn.